Hello and welcome to the next episode of Aurora's World. So today I am here in Greece, in Athens, and coming to the city, it isn't quite what I thought it was going to be. I don't know what I thought it was going to be exactly. I think I thought it was going to be a little bit similar to Rome, but that hasn't been my experience so far. So before I got to Athens, I was in Egypt. I was at the pyramids, I was seeing an art installation, and I was recording some of my music video. And I decided I didn't want to stay in Egypt just because I was alone and there has been conflict in Gaza, and I was going to go to Sharm el-Sheikh, which is very close to Gaza really, and it's close to the border. So I decided to come to Athens, and I think a lot of it was to do with my curiosity of ancient Greece and Greek myths that I had when I was at school. I loved learning about them. Theseus and the Minotaur, Pandora's box, all that stuff. I found it so fascinating, and yeah, I wanted to be around a city that has a lot of culture. So I booked my stay here. And yeah, I have this feeling that there is a lot more going on in Greece politically than I expected. And the feeling of, I don't know, just the overall energy around on the streets that I'm getting is that there is some repression here and struggles that people of Athens are facing. And it's kind of sad to see. So, you know, it's a beautiful place. Obviously magnificent Acropolis that I can see from the rooftop, and yeah, some amazing things. But in terms of just me wanting to go out and explore the city, I haven't really felt that. So I've mainly been in the hotel and just been, you know, very focused on the things that I'm putting my energy into at the moment. Traveling around is something that is very exciting and is very fun, but it's also something that can get very exhausting, especially if you've been doing it for quite some years like myself. So it's really just highlighted to me the importance of home and wanting to build a home again, since I haven't had my proper home that I had in Berlin quite some years ago, like my own place. I had my own place in Paris for some time, but you know, with Brexit, was absolutely limited to what I can do and where I can set up. You know, I'm so used to just being able to go to a European city and being able to live there. I've never had that restriction before. So since Brexit has come in, being a British citizen, it's honestly been a nightmare. Like, I absolutely hate Brexit, and I also don't like England, as I've expressed before. So it's like, well, where do I go then? I don't even want to talk about Brexit because it's honestly, it's not even worth speaking about. Never mind. Okay, so here I am, and you know, I'm about to embark on some more traveling, and what I want to do eventually is just really be set up, I think, in two places, because I am not a fan of the cold. I have this thing where I'm just always cold. Like, even in the warmth, I'm cold. Even when it's like the summertime, I can put the heating on, and in the winter I live inside with my coat, my gloves, my scarf, my hat. Like, I'm always freezing. And I remember growing up, my parents, my grandparents, used to get really annoyed that I would put the heating on and always complain about the cold and being cold, but it's just how I am. So I think that I'm searching for like a summer home and a winter home. I think that would be my ideal situation. But outside of that, I am also now really looking for my life partner, and I don't really know if I'm like actively looking for them because I haven't really done much to look for them. Like, honestly, I'm not doing much at all. My last relationship that broke down was very painful. It hurt me a lot, and I don't want to live in fear of dating someone else because I know that's not productive and that will not get me to where I want to be. But it kind of made me feel that I want to put a pause on just dating anyone right now until I'm feeling a bit better about it. A part of me still cares for this person in some way, and a stupid part of me hopes that we would get back together and make things work out, because we talked about our wedding and our children and our life together, and that was like a dream for me. But the sensible part of me knows that that is not a good idea. So I am focusing myself in this time to transforming myself and just improving how I show up in a relationship, because I did not show up very well in that relationship due to a lot of external things that happened, but also I just wasn't in a good feeling. So it wasn't really my best relationship, or I wasn't my best in this relationship, and I've have become very conscious and aware and want to work on that. It disappoints me a little bit that I don't think that my ex-partner is doing the same at all, or they're just saying that they have when they have not. But you can't force someone, you can't lead the horse to the water, however it is. You can't make someone do something that they don't want to do or they don't want to look at. So I just have to leave it alone and let this person be. So I am soon going to be in a retreat that is for healing the feminine aspect, the wounded feminine aspect, and learning how to step into your power more as a woman. And when I say power, what I've come to realize is that I want that to be a soft power. I want that to be gentle. I want that to be warm. I want that to be kind. I want that to be loving, because there has definitely been a lot of ways that I have shown up that have not been those things, that have been very harsh, very angry, very hostile at times. And I've noticed that when I have been those ways, it is because predominantly I have not felt safe. So I don't feel safe enough to be in my feminine energy. So I want to work on, getting that safety and getting that softness. And the issue is that when you've been hurt in relationships, you can kind of have an adversity to being soft, because you believe that being soft maybe could be weak, and the person could take advantage of you, especially if they've done that before in a relationship. But what I have found is that you can be soft, but you can have your boundaries as well. So it's not like you're compromising yourself, because when I step into this very harsh, very hard version of me, that isn't me. That's not who I am. I am by nature soft, loving, caring, kind. I love animals. I would love to wear beautiful dresses and run around in nature and be smiling. It sounds very cheesy, but that is just actually who I am. And I realized that last night, and I was like, gosh, that is who you are. So why have you been led so far away from the gentle and sweet person that you are? And it's because of all these circumstances. So through this retreat, I'm really hoping to heal this and to come back to myself for the new year, because I don't want to lose myself through my pain. And if I don't transform back into who I really am, I'm going to attract another partner that is matching to the frequency of the person that I'm presenting, but not the person I truly am. So again, it won't be right. And I feel like now I just don't have time to waste on the wrong person anymore. When you're very young, you can have a lot of trials through the dating life and see, but now I'm getting older and I don't want to make so many mistakes or take massive risks on people that I know are definitely not the right kind of person that I would want to be with or create a life with or a future with. So that is what I'm focusing on. And yeah, it's a process, isn't it? Because a lot of the the difficulties that have come from the past relationship, I've actually started to have like a lot of nightmares and like flashbacks about some things that happened that were really terrible things that I'm not going to share, but they were like really awful now when I think about them all. And it's just really wanting to heal that and to not feel that anymore and detach from that person. So a lot of it has to do with this energetic frequency, energetic vibration, and you may know the Lover Above scale. So it talks about how we are a vibrational resonance of everything that we're containing, our emotions within our body. So if we're holding on to a lot of anger, a lot of pain, a lot of grief, and then we've got some happiness, some joy, some love, all of those different feelings, let's say they equate to a number. So like anger is very low, like 20, and love is like 200 or something. So your accumulation of those numbers, which gives you a result of what your frequency is. So if you're holding on to a lot of these really dense low frequencies, you cannot rise up into the scale of where you want to be, into the highest vibration. And when you are on that scale, like rising up higher, that is when your life can begin to transform and to change, and that's when you can start to attract the right things that you want to in your life. So if you don't know it, Google Lover Above frequency scale and you will see that. And you can also see one as like the siphoning of the energy, like spiraling up and spiraling down, and you will know when you are in this downward spiral because you feel yourself getting sucked down. And my past relationship like keeps bringing me into this downward spiral, and I'm like, well, that's how I know that it's not good, and that's how I know that it's not right, because it's not elevating me, and I am the one that's continuously trying to elevate this downward spiral through things that I know are not even true, like by, you know, sharing love with that person and kind words when they're not even in the place to receive that, like constantly feeling that I have to bring it up when the person is always bringing it down. And it's a huge weight to carry and a massive burden that sometimes you just feel like entangled to these people, like these ties, these soul bonds, these connections, and I just want to break it, like I do. But there's this part of me that doesn't want to let it go, which is so wild when I look at it and I see it for what it truly is. And it seems mad, like, why do I want to hold on to this when it's clear that it's really not been good? So yeah, it's moving into that upward spiral, and obviously when you feel sick, it's really hard to do that. So it's like cleansing yourself, your mind, your body, eating well, eating right, good foods that are also going to elevate you, because that's also an important part of it. Like what you put inside your body is what you become as well, like is in your cells and your transformation of cells. So you've got to eat food and things that are of a high vibration too. So thinking about that as well, and then just filtering different parts of my life in so many ways, which I have been doing for years anyway, but even more focusing on that in terms of like who I engage with, what kind of places I go to, what I'm involved in. It's just like I really need to keep on this upward spiral of elevating that. And sometimes I think from the outside looking in, people could even see you doing that as being selfish, or I don't want to say like stuck up, but say if you're deciding like I only want to go to events where, you know, it's a really great vibe, it's a lot of people that are, for example, successful, because you are basically a combination of the people that you surround yourself with. So if you want to be successful, you're going to want to surround yourself also with successful people, you know, a beautiful aesthetic, or you know, all these things that you want, and people see you changing and doing that. People from your past can kind of look at you and judge you, and to think like, okay, now she's like too good for us, or now she's only like doing this and that and not what she was doing before, whatever. But you have to let go of what people think, because at the end of the day, it is your life, and all of those people that are sitting there potentially judging you for wanting to elevate yourself and elevate your life, they all have the power to want that too, and to do that. And they do, like deep down they do, but they just don't realize that they can or how to do it. So you have to let go of what other people think and what they believe about you. And I think that you just come to a point where you realize that some people are coming with you and some people aren't. And it doesn't mean that it's just friends as well and relationships. It can also be family, which is really hard to acknowledge that within family as well, because, well, yeah, there's so many reasons why that is difficult, but that is also part of it, you know. And I think when it comes to family, when that happens, it's also teaching us a lesson in terms of like understanding our higher potential and highest purpose for being on this planet, and kind of like, I would say, like a test in whether we're really going to go like the full distance, or we will let these things like stand in our way. Family, which is so hard when you love family, obviously you care for them, but if they don't want the best for you, you have to love them from a distance. You can't let them infiltrate your life. And often the resistance from the family is the same thing as, like, maybe it's a mom, or, you know, an older sister, or a brother, or, you know, anyone in the family that they see you doing this, that they haven't done that, or they haven't had this opportunity. So they in some way do feel like a little bit of resentment, or yeah, like annoyed that you're doing all of that, and they wish they were, but they're not. But you can't let that hold you back, otherwise you're never going to be happy. You're going to just wish that you did the things that you wanted to do, and you're going to live with resentment. And so either way, it's not winning. It's like either you can upset those people, or you can stay upset yourself. And a lot of people who have like this people-pleasing mentality, they're always wanting to please others, they can hold back, and they can stay back out of that because they are afraid of being judged or hurting people. And often those people were the people that were made to feel that their opinions weren't valid growing up, their feelings don't matter, that nothing matters, only, like, you know, pleasing other people, because if they didn't, they wouldn't be treated well from, for example, their primary caregivers who they relied on. So it's a very deep psychological thing that you have to tackle and unwind if that is part of your reality, because you're going to stay stuck in this loop of always being a people pleaser and never getting to where you want to be. And I think people pleasers as well, like, feel a lot of guilt around it, about putting themselves first. But it's not by putting yourself first that you simply don't care about other people. You can put yourself first and be a kind, caring, honest, open and genuine person, and actually the best things that you're going to achieve in life are from being your best self. Because as you shine out in the world and you take that path and you start to do the things that you want to do and work on the things that you want to work on, it gets you to a certain place where you're shining your light, and through that light you inspire others. Imagine if you want to build a business and it becomes successful, and through that you become a philanthropist and you're able to help so many people. You know, you would not have got there if you just stayed small and just, you know, did what others wanted you to do. So you are going to reach your best when you strive for your best. And if people don't support you, you have to understand that that is okay. And if they care about you, they will come around in time. They will. And then you can decide if you want those people in your life or not. So I have posted one video now, and this is the second video. And I have had some views, and I've also had some comments as well. So I wanted to take the time to answer some of those comments too, because I was really happy to receive those comments on my video. And yeah, it was so nice to just have a couple of people watching. I didn't get many watches because it's brand new. But yeah, I wanted to touch on something. I think there was one girl that had wrote a comment about how it was her dream to travel to, I think it was Korea, South Korea. She's really into K-pop, and how is she going to get to do that? Is it too much for her? And I just want to say to this girl that Nothing is too much. If it's in your dreams, if it's in your heart, then it is, I believe, a divine vision and mission from God or from the universe, however you want to call it. And if it's in your heart, then it's there for you to acquire. And often we don't know how we're going to achieve these dreams when they come into our life. Sometimes dreams can be so big, it's very overwhelming, and you feel like it's impossible. But like I said, if it's in your heart and it's in your vision, then God or the universe has put that there for a purpose, that you can make it happen. And so I have really started to open up to my dreams and finding ways to reach my dreams. And I'm still on the pathway to getting there, but as I've gone along, I have become very dedicated and committed to doing certain things differently in my life in order to achieve them, because you can't stay doing the same thing and expecting it to be different, right? So I've been diving in a lot to, obviously, the laws of attraction, mindset. Like, mindset has been a massive thing, and mantras. So every day I say 100 mantras, and I actually choose the mantras for the day. I use ChatGPT and I write out to ChatGPT, hey ChatGPT, I want 100 mantras for my day, and this is the things that I'm focusing on today, and they will write it for me, and then I say them out loud. Because through the studying of what I've read through all this sort of just law of attraction, but it's about energy, and I've been reading a lot of Florence Scovel Shinn, who's great, if you should check that out, and so many other authors. And it's about, well, what you speak and what you put out there is a vibration. So the more you speak it, the more that vibration becomes your world. So it's about what you focus on, like in your mind, but also words are very powerful. The word is extremely powerful, like it says in the Bible as well. So I have been focusing on those mantras, and when you say the mantras, you also have to have in your mind a belief about them. So I don't think it's any good like saying the mantra and believing the opposite in your mind. You have to believe it even though you can't see it. That is something that I keep like hearing time and time again from lots of different teachers and books. So it's like, for you, for example, you want to go to Korea, then I would just have my mantras about Korea, use ChatGPT, get 100 mantras, say them every day, and say them with belief. I am going to be in Korea. I am going to live my dreams. I'm going to achieve what I want to achieve there. There's going to be a way. God is going to find a way for me to get there. You know, whatever the mantras that come out, and just say them, and do this every day for 1 year and just see what happens. You know, use it as an experiment and put some belief behind it, because you have to put some belief behind it. And what I found as well is, like, by doing these things, it takes time to grow. Like, you also have to make actions too. You can't just like say that you want something and just not take any action. Like, oh, I want to win the lottery, but you don't buy a lottery ticket, right? So that is obviously not going to happen, because you're not taking any action as well. So you need to take action as much as you physically can. You need to do the mindset mantras as much as you can, and just, you know, see what happens, see the way your life changes. And sometimes it can take a while, sometimes it can happen overnight, sometimes it can take a while, but you're sowing the seeds, you're sowing all these things into the ground that can come into fruition, and at least you're opening up the energetic channels for it to be a possibility in your life. Because it's hard to say exactly how this is, but I think there are many different timelines and many different opportunities, and we can create the channel to open that timeline, to shift into different spaces by the certain things that we do energetically. So it's really important to keep on that positive vibe. But then I'm like, okay, well, what about the negative emotions? Just pretend they don't exist? No, because otherwise they're going to keep stored in your body and you're going to be holding on to them. So there's a lot of techniques that you can use to release these emotions, and I would recommend releasing your emotions as much as possible in a safe environment through, I don't know, if it's anger, you can scream out loud into a pillow. People could hear, like, obviously a no down. You could start to write out all your thoughts and feelings. If it's about another person, you can write a letter to them but not send it. You can go to healing workshops, and a huge one that helps to transform is forgiveness. So forgiving people for what they do, and that is so hard. Like, honestly, that can be very, very difficult at times, just forgiving someone, because when someone has caused you a lot of pain in your life and hurt, you don't want to forgive them, right? You want justice, you want them to know what they've done, especially if they're not sorry. It's so hard to forgive that person, to come from a place of like, yeah, I'm going to forgive you even though you don't care, but you have to move forward in your life. And that is one of the things I am working on, honestly, because that has been very challenging for me, to forgive people that have done things that have hurt me so much. So yes, that's where I'm at right now, and I would love to say hi to all of you again, and thank you so much for watching my videos as they come, this diary, this story. I hope you're going to enjoy my journey and what I share with you. And yes, so I will be making another video next week, and I will be giving you an update again on where I'm at. If you have any questions or anything you want to share, feel free to put them in the comments below, and I will try to answer them in my next video, because I love interacting with you. And don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing you again next week. Have a beautiful day from Athens.